Hey everyone, today we are going to make a drawing based off of Van Gogh's sunflowers. I am going to be using oil pastels for my sunflower drawing, but you can use crayons, colored pencils, anything you want really. I just like how you can blend with oil pastels, so that's what I'll be using today. I'm going to start by drawing my sunflowers using an oil pastel. That way you'll be able to see what I'm drawing, but you can use pencil if that is what you prefer. So, the bottom half of our paper is going to be our vase. The top half is going to be our flowers. So I'm just going to start by drawing some flowers. Let's start over here with a circle. And let's draw some interesting petals. One way you can do this that will be a little easier than just drawing it the way I am is you can put a little dot and you can make a curve to connect it to that dot to make it go to a point. Or you can just draw it. So there's one. We're gonna try to have some variety in our drawing, so we're gonna draw some flowers differently than we draw other ones. For this flower, I'm drawing a spiral in the middle, and I'll close it off when I feel like the spiral is big enough. And then you just bump around. And then some can have multiple layers with like a zigzag line around it. And we're gonna have overlapping where something goes over and partly covers another thing. So that top flower goes over and partly covers this bottom flower down here. Let's add another one down here. With a zigzag middle part to it. And then petals going all around it. And then some go underneath. I'm also gonna draw some little circles inside. I did not leave a ton of room for my vase, but that's okay. We're going to draw it pretending like it comes out from underneath our flowers. So I'm gonna just draw a curve here, a curve here, and I'm gonna draw a slightly curved line at the bottom to show that is 3D. And we also need to add a horizon line or our table line. So I'm gonna draw out here. I'm gonna pretend to draw and put my oil pastel back down. Right there. Perfect. Now, to fill in this space a little bit, we need to draw a stem. And let's draw another stem for here. And these flower stems you won't see because they're underneath. All right, now we can start to add some color. And I mentioned that we can do some shading. So I'm gonna start with this one up here. If you are using oil pastels like I am, keep in mind they're a little messy. So I'm just gonna start up here at the top and fill in with the brown because the middle of a sunflower is brown. Then I'm going to take yellow, orange, and the brown one again. Let's start with our yellow. Just filling it in. I mentioned earlier that I was using oil pastels to color my drawing, and I am, but I want you to know that even if you don't have oil pastels or they are more messy than what you want to use, this is also doable with crayons. I have done this drawing in crayon and it works just fine, so I want you to try the shading no matter what drawing material you have. After I'm done with my yellow, I'm going to come around in the middle and just add some orange. And notice I'm paying attention to the direction that I am coloring. I don't want to cover all of my yellow, just some parts. This will make it look more realistic. Then we can also add some lines with our brown. We don't want to go too far up into our petals. Okay, that one is done. And you might notice my hands are making my drawing really messy, but that's okay. That is just fine. Let's also color in our stem. Before I put on a time lapse to finish the rest of my drawing with my coloring, I want to show you how to make your vase look 3D. So we're gonna also add a line in the middle to split it in half. Three-dimensional is where an object is tall, wide, and it has something we call depth. So this, you can measure it height and width. Something that is three-dimensional, you would also be able to measure back, okay? It would have more than just these two sides. So for example, a square is two-dimensional and a cube is three-dimensional. So we want our vase to look three-dimensional. For the bottom part of my vase, I'm going to make it blue, so I'm going to grab a light blue, a dark blue, and I'm also gonna find a white oil pastel. And I will also need a little bit of black oil pastel as well. I think I'm gonna make the top part to be purple. Of course, you can do yours however you want. You do not have to match mine. But if you want to, you can. So let's start with the blue. The lightest, the white part is going to be in the middle, and I just made a little bit of a mess, but it's okay. Our oil pastel will cover it. So I'm gonna start with the regular blue, the darkest blue. I'm gonna come on the sides and color side to side. You might notice I have to kind of turn my paper at an angle because coloring it side to side this way is a little bit of a struggle for me, so I like to turn my paper. Leaving no white spaces, and it's thicker at the sides, at each side, and it gets a little lighter towards the middle. Your pressure pushing down gets lighter as you go towards the middle. Okay, let's do the other side. Now we're gonna switch to the light blue, and we're going to go in between the white part and the blue part, just back and forth, and it'll take some of that dark blue and blend. So we're working darkest to lightest. I'm going to do it very, very lightly in the middle. So it's starting to blend. Now we're going to take our white in that very middle and blend in between. So this will give us our highlight where the light is hitting our vase. And then we're gonna work on our shadows. So I'm gonna take this black again and just lightly on the side add some black to make the shadows. Not too much. If you do too much, it'll look too dark. Just like that. All right, I'm going to put on a time lapse to do the rest of my coloring. Take your time and make it look nice and neat. Okay, so my flowers are done and I did my background and my foreground and I think it looks really good. If you're like me and used oil pastels, your hands might be a little bit messy, but that's okay. I think the end result is worth it. So I will see you guys next time. I hope you had fun.